Good evening and welcome back to Mayor's Minutes. Happy Wednesday to all of you out there. It's a little cold and dreary out there, but not quite wintry yet. So, we've got some special guests on today's program, and looking in the camera, the mayor notices he's got his tie all screwed up. So, I want to apologize for being a few minutes late here. That is the mayor's fault, not MCS's fault. I was coming back from the city where I had an appointment, and the traffic is unbelievable, right? I'm going to introduce my guest shortly, but we're going to plug the positives of Merrimack Valley Transit, because I'm a user and you should be too, right? We're going to talk about some of the things that you probably don't even know about Merrimack Valley Transit. So, including which I shouldn't call it Merrimack Valley Transit anymore. I should call it MEVA. Yeah. Right? MEVA?
MEVA.
Okay. So just a reminder before we start that, we've switched mediums. I know I'm saying this now, but it seems like some people still have missed the migration from Facebook Live to YouTube. From Facebook Live to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube and the mayor realizes he hasn't got his phone out yet, you can submit live questions on the Methuen Community Studios YouTube channel. It's an easy way to watch. It's an easy way to get questions, especially if you're prepared, unlike the mayor. So go to Methuen Community Studios, their YouTube channel, and on the live questions, submit one, right? And we'll try to answer it if we've got time there, right? So I think, we're getting some folks that aren't aware that we've changed, but we have. Right, so the YouTube seems like a better forum for submitting questions for both the mayor and for MCS. So, and then I want to welcome my guests, three distinguished guests. First of all, Noah Berger, who's the minister for MEVA. You've been on the show before.
I have been on the show with you almost exactly 2 years ago.
2 years ago, wow, that seems forever.
It's both forever and yesterday.
Yeah, I know. And then over here on the far right, we have Christina Minicucci, the development director for MEVA, and a personal friend of mine, somebody who has done a lot of good for the city of Methuen. So do not let me get away from this program without saying thank you again.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you did for this city, right? And last but by no means least, we have Amy Jenkins, who's the director of Mini MEVA.
You got it.
And I'll be asking questions. Immediately my mind says,
Exactly.
MEVA, right? So, I don't know if that was inspired by that. Let's make it smaller. Merrimack Valley Transit. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys for a little bit, Noah, and allow you to do kind of a sales job, and then that'll allow me surreptitiously off camera to get YouTube up, which I should have done before I got here. But, we've got some slides that we can go through and talk about, some of the benefits to MEVA. And then, whomever wishes to talk can talk. There will be questions coming in. The audience is pretty good about asking questions. I just have to figure out which phone to use. And we answer them as many as we can. So take it away.
Well, and Mayor, thanks for having us. I just, you referenced when I was on the show with our Chief Communications Officer, Neil Mendez, about 2 years ago.
Right.
And I just want to give you credit, because at the time, that was before we went through a lot of changes, but one of the things you asked us, you blindsided us with a question we were talking about. At the time, the ridership was way down.
Yeah.
And you said, well, I'm not speaking as the mayor, I'm just speaking as a businessman. Why don't you make it free?
Yeah.
And shortly after that, our board, including our Methuen representative, voted unanimously to make the fare free, which has been a tremendous positive for Methuen and the entire Merrimack Valley.
Huge.
And by the way, I have to tell you that you're the Methuen rep to the board, Kathleen Caldwell, when we were presenting, and then they went through all the data, and what finally persuaded her to vote in favor of going fare free. She pulled up the show, the mayor's minutes, when we talked about it, and specifically honed in on you saying, why don't you go fare free? Yeah. But honestly, and I bring that up just because it's something that people don't even believe to this day, even though we put on the
it's free?
buses,
Yeah.
it says
Yeah.
free, gratis.
Yeah. There's going to be a catch.
Right. But and if you look at, and we have a chart there of our ridership. We are actually 30% above where we were before the pandemic. And
I was just going to suggest, I wasn't even looking at your data,
Yeah.
but I'm not surprised by that, right? But I do want to say, I still think it's a fabulous benefit to the community that many Methuen residents may not capitalize on to the extent that they could,
I
right?
think that's true. I think that's true.
And so, I want to use today's show to get you guys talking about that, because I think, and not that we target any population, but our senior population especially are most vulnerable. There are enormous benefits that come from using MIVA, right? And I use public transit to get to and from my dialysis treatments, and I told the three of you before the show, it is fabulous. Right? I mean, they are so attentive. It's unbelievable, right?
They have a good crew.
And I don't think they do that just because I'm the mayor, right? But and I've had I don't know, probably 15 different drivers, and they're all excellent. So if we do nothing else during this hour, we want to make sure that the community of Methuen understands, investigate. See the benefits that MIVA has, understand before you, right? Because, and I'm going to, Christina, you know this firsthand from our chats. I was running out of rides. And I say that, asking for rides here, asking for a ride there. And it strains, even I have, 4 kids, 3 who live with me. And even they, they've got lives, they got jobs, and there's only so much they can support, right? So a fabulous benefit. So it's thrilling to hear that the ridership is up. That's a great thing.
And I
right?
think that the best statistic, the one I really love, ridership is way up. Complaints are down by a third.
Yeah. I don't think that surprises me, but and my personal experience, like I said, has been nothing but terrific with you guys. All right, let's go through a couple of the slides if we can. We'll give them a little breathing time here. Hello, look at that new look. Who picked the colors?
So there was a focus group that we put together. It was local folks that had some artistic bent, but you remember our old vehicles. They looked exactly like mail trucks. The exact same color scheme.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And particularly a lot of people in the area we serve, they come from other countries that they're used to much more color. And quite frankly, people, we blended in too much. So it was important to really stand out. And I think, the other thing, and, you talked about the benefits of the mini MIVA service.
Yep.
We wanted to make sure that it was viewed as all part of a family of services. So we had the vans the same color scheme as the buses, just to emphasize that it's one transportation service with multiple different ways of doing it.
Now, the next slide shows a graph, fixed route ridership from FY 2019 through FY 2024. And it looks like April's a tough month in FY 2. Oh,
well, that was the...
I know why.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking at, geez, April was a tough... Oh, yeah. What happened in April? But I think it looks like, to your point, the recovery is there, right?
Yeah. And
which is so...
We've more than recovered. We're better than we've ever been, which is not the case of pretty much every other transit authority in this country.
Yeah. So without blindsiding you again, because I don't... So do you ever see going back to need to pay?
So I never want to collect fares again.
Yeah.
I think there's so many reasons why that, it slows down your system. It has nothing to do with running service. What we're going to need is the help of people like you.
Yep.
And people
lobbying our government.
And making sure that the benefits are understood. Nobody questions why libraries are free.
Right.
That's
a great point.
But there are some people have a mindset that if you can't pay the fare, you don't get shipped.
Right.
And we want people to ride transit.
Right.
It's in everyone's best interest for people to get on our buses.
Yeah.
So like any other public good, we want to find ways to encourage it. And I think, what we, you look at the analysis of, it's a really inefficient way to generate revenue. We, for every dollar we used to collect in the fare box,
Yeah.
we saw 23.9 cents.
Yeah.
If you fully account for everything. So I think we're going to have to work hard.
Yeah.
We're going to have to, we're right now documenting, Christina's sort of putting surveys together to
Yeah.
really show the benefits that we've had, having people tell their stories.
Yeah. Well, count me in on that, right?
You
And
got
count
it,
me in
yeah.
on not just the story, but count me in on lobbying the state government, right? Because
Yeah.
it's an enormous benefit. So, and not just because of my personal experience, right? My eyes now have been opened to a much broader, right? And to me, the more we can reduce any traffic on our roads, right? The traffic around here, just getting in here today was, I was worried it was going to be a 6 o'clock, and then MCS would be yelling at me saying, "You're late again, Mayor, right? We're going to make you punch a clock."
See, it's all about transportation.
It is all about transportation. And, I can't help but sit in traffic like that and look around and see how many people and wonder, who could be using public transit? I once had this wacky idea, and somebody else shared it. I'm trying to think, who is it that we should put the train line right down the center of 93, right? The train should run right down the center of 93, because, I worked 40 years at Raytheon, as you know, Chris, and I want to tell you, those commute hours, they are lonely hours. There's you gotta get audiobooks, you gotta get, right? I worked in Lexington and Waltham, and those aren't easy commutes, right? So we've got to lobby hard. You've got to tell me, and you've got to tell me how to exercise my public so that they understand and they lobby for it too, because their voice will be louder than ours.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And appreciate it. All right, we got a couple more cool picture charts. There you go. There's one of the mini buses, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Am I saying the right thing?
Yes.
And there's a young lady with a cane, and she's getting helped by the driver. And the drivers are so attentive to the passengers. It's really terrific. Now, as soon as I say that, somebody's going to call and say, "I was on a bus from our company a year ago," and somebody, okay, yeah, me too. So we see the Teresa Wenger Henkel is. So just I have this goes out to all 53,000 live or by tape in Methuen. Out of the 53,000, Teresa gets a gold bet because she asks about 50 questions per show.
Wow.
I don't know how every topic I do, she's ahead of me, right? So she's got 8 questions out there already started. I'm going to give you a couple of them. So let's see. Is Mini Miva, well, we didn't even talk, I'm not going to say that yet because she's getting into a topic. Teresa, hang on. We're getting there, right? You're putting the cart before the horse. We didn't even talk about Mini Miva yet. Because we got the Mini Miva expert right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's take another. You got to look at the bus that says free gratis. There you go. And I'm sure there's people saying, "No way,"
Right?
right? That's not free for me. And then we got one of the 2 kids dancing off the side of the bus. That's a good picture.
See, we serve
All ages.
all ages,
Yeah.
all demographics.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the next one. People actually, being able to really. So there's a lot to be said for public transit. Being able to relax and, just enjoy camaraderie or prep for your show, right?
Right. I mean, and actually, that the picture there, the interior, that the way we got to that interior, when I first started in this job, and Neo and I would ride the buses and talk to riders, and one of the first things that one of the riders talked to us about was the seats, and they said, the old buses, the seats are cloth,
Yeah.
and doesn't age well, right?
Yeah.
Then we had newer buses who had slick plastic seats, which
The hard plastic.
seemed better,
Yeah.
solved the problem of the stains on the cloth
Yeah.
seats, but then people slid off too easily. So we found this. It's not cloth, but it has friction.
Yeah.
But it also, we brought the same vibrant colors on the outside of the bus on the inside of the bus, and now the company that did that is showing that off to other transit authorities, saying, look what we can do, because we did it at Neva.
Yeah, that's great. Now we have a picture of a happy employee on the next slide. And why is he so happy? Is it payday?
I mean, it's we do have a happy workforce, and that happens to be Greg, who looks like he was sent by Central Casting to play a mechanic, but he just he's real. But yeah, it's and that is one of the things. Another statistic that we're proud of is that there's a national driver shortage and mechanics as well, and most transit authorities are still unable to find the men and women behind the wheel to operate the service they need. That's not a problem for us. We're actually starting a new class of 10 people, and it's not just thank God. It's because it's our our team here has been doing a tremendous job getting the word. So now word on the street is we're a great place to work. And so when vendors come in and look and say, wow, I've never seen a transit authority.
Teach me the secret.
All right. Well, and it's.
I still have trouble filling my DPW holes. They're not easy.
Well, we added a massage chair and a high-end coffee machine to the driver's lounge.
Hello.
So
maybe I get more.
Yeah, come by. Yes, absolutely.
CBAs are coming up. Here we
That's
go.
right.
Yeah.
We got a picture of another happy lady. I got a lot of pictures here. Yeah. So, and then on the next we have your contact information as well as these lovely ladies and Neo, who's not here.
Yeah, Neo was not able to. She was on the show 2 years ago.
She was.
She is our entire communications department.
Wow. Wow.
We wear a lot of hats in our
That's a good thing, though.
It is.
So let's talk a little bit about Mini Miva, if we could,
Yeah.
and get you into the conversation.
Yep.
So tell me about Mini Miva.
So Mini Meaver is the small vans that go right to people's houses to pick them up and to transport them any place they need to go. So dialysis or food shopping, their friends' houses, we don't tell them there's a place they can't go.
Doctor's appointments.
Anything, yeah.
And is there a restriction? These are intentionally asked questions.
Yeah.
Is there a restriction on distance or duration or?
No, there's not. Well, we have 15 cities and towns that we transport to.
Yep.
So it's everywhere within the Merrimack Valley. We do go into Boston, into Peabody on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
Soon we'll be going to the Veterans Clinic in Bedford
Outstanding.
on Wednesdays and Fridays. That's going to start in January.
Yeah.
And the only thing you need to do is fill out an application. So there's 2 eligibilities. One of them is based on your age. So anyone in the city of Methuen who's over the age of 60 automatically qualifies. All
Like
they
me.
need to do is, they need to do is fill out one sheet of paper and send it in to us, and you're set in our system.
Yeah.
And then we have eligibilities for people who have a disability that prevent them from riding the fixed bus route. That's called our ADA service.
Right.
That one application's a little bit longer. You need a doctor to help you fill it out.
Yeah.
Doctor or medical.
Social worker,
Yeah.
nurse. The staff at Methuen Senior Center can actually fill
Right.
it out for them.
Fabulous staff at the senior center.
Excellent.
Yes.
We were there 2 weeks
a couple
ago
weeks
with them.
ago.
Yes, yeah, they are great. And I'm going to be going there to talk to the seniors in the next couple of months to do
great.
some outreach.
Let me know when it is. I'll go with you.
Definitely.
Because one of my rides, the lady says, "Oh, I got to make a pickup before I
senior
drop
center?
you off." And I said, "Well, where are you going?" She said, "The senior said, oh, the senior said that's on Wall Street."
Yeah.
She says, "How do you know that?" I said, "Well, I'm the mayor."
Right.
No way. I said, yeah. So yeah, we stopped by, and a couple of seniors like pointing out the window. Hey, there's a mayor on the bus.
Your numbers are going to go up there.
Mini
Mayor, the mayor.
Yes.
No, there's no karaoke on the Mini Viva. So.
Maybe we could get that.
But I'm going to go back, and at the risk of his Miva calling me about my ride
You're
tomorrow.
right for tomorrow.
That's not a plant. I'll show that to you. That's them calling me say you have scheduled rides tomorrow.
Yep, that's your pickup
That's
window.
great. But I forgot to turn my phone off. That's bad.
But in this case, it was good.
It was good,
It was
yeah.
good.
Good timing.
It was a show
Yeah.
plug.
Yeah.
But MCS is saying, does he never turn his phone off? All right, so we got a couple questions here.
Sure.
Is Mini Miva the same as WeBus service? My deceased father used WeBus service in the early 2000s to go to dialysis treatments, doctor's appointments, and even Methuen Senior Center.
Same exact service.
Yeah.
It was also known as Easy Trans until a
Say
year.
it again?
It was also known as Easy Trans.
Okay.
And our applications are in the process of being swapped over to Mini Miva.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually one of the, when we did the rebranding, there were like different services within the paratransit that all had different names, and it was confusing because, you know, we had the WeBus, the Easy Trans ADA, Easy Trans non-ADA, the Ring and Ride, and that just confused, and actually Amy's poor staff, they used to have to print up a little cheat sheet to show
every town was
eligibilities for
different.
which town you're from, and so we said, let's make it as simple as possible.
Right, right.
And so that's what, you know, but at the risk of creating one more name, it was just one that kind of covers everything.
Yeah, that's good. All
And
I
one
know
of
is
our
I call
drivers
that
named
number
it.
and I press option 3.
That's all
Yep.
you
Let them know.
do. Easy peasy. Yep.
Yep. So some of these I think you answered, but I'm going to ask them just so she hears them. So please explain how to sign up, pay, and use the Mini Miva or WeBus. So let me stop and say, Teresa, you're not paying attention because you used the P word, pay.
You
The
don't like that
service
word.
is free,
Yes.
right? So please explain how to sign up and use the Mini Miva service.
Yeah, so you can call our office and we can send you an application. Applications are available online as well, so you can print them out.
Yep.
And like I said, a simple process. If you're over the age of 60, it's just one page. If you have a disability, then it's, you know, a doctor, a nurse, social worker can help fill that out for you.
Right.
Yep. You just mail it in to us.
She's getting her money's worth in here. Please explain the Mini Miva or WeBus service in terms of medical requirements or doctor's approval for the sign form. I think you just said that.
I just did, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully Teresa was listening. What is the distance you can travel from home
Anywhere
to
within
a
our-
Mini Miva or WeBus service?
Anywhere within our service area. So as far north as Newburyport, probably the farthest north.
Yeah.
We do go out to the Gallagher
Salisbury.
Center in Lowell,
Yeah.
Salisbury.
You don't
Yep.
cross into New Hampshire though, do you? No.
We do not cross into New
Right.
Hampshire yet. Hopefully someday soon we'll be able to do that.
I mean-
Yes. Yep.
I mean, lobby with you for that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And we also go into Boston 3 days a week for
You do.
medical appointments.
Yep, that's great. Teresa, start writing these down. I believe that Mini Miva or WeBus even has a wheelchair ramp lift. I believe this is door to door. That is correct.
Yes.
The mayor will answer that for you,
Yes.
right? That is correct. And even in the case like the mayor, where I walk with a walker right now, they use the lift, and the drivers are very attentive and very, very safety conscious.
They have lots
Right.
of training. Yeah.
They do.
Yep.
And they do a wonderful job. And
Good.
I want you to take that back to the drivers.
And I'm going to break some news for you, Mayor.
Yeah.
The current vans, it has a mechanical lift.
Yes.
We will be getting new vehicles by the end of this calendar year that are low floor.
Oh.
So just fold out a ramp, and you know, even if you have a mobility
Awesome.
device, you can go on
Walk right
without
on.
having to ride the lift. That's been a long time
That's great.
coming, and the manufacturers
Yeah.
took them a long time to get there, but we're excited about doing
That's
that. I
terrific.
think it'll be great for our passengers.
That's terrific. Thank you for doing that. Because I'll tell you, I make a joke with the drivers. You'll appreciate this. So going up on the lift there,
Yeah.
it's no big deal. You just grab the two. Coming out is a little bit, you're taking like a trust step there, right? So you're out on the grate. The first time I did, it's like, is this thing going to hold me? Or am I going to right to the, you know. I had visions of, what's that darn cat that was chasing the mouse all the time?
Oh, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you know, right to the floor, right?
Or Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote, yeah. I remember taking the MVRTA service from home to Lawrence High School. Do students get a discount on the fare? Do students need an ID? I'm going to give you a B-, Teresa, because you're not listening.
Everything is free.
Free means free. Libre, gratis, whatever language you want to say it in. Free. Free. We can put extra syllables in there. F-R-E-E-E-E-E. Free. So,
And you know what's very exciting is that our bus didn't used to really get very close to Methuen High School, but we recently rerouted one of our buses so that it gets very close to Methuen High School so that kids can get up to the loop. Because we
That's
kept
terrific.
hearing the kids need to work, they want to
Yeah.
work out, all
Yeah.
those different things, and now they're able to cross over, get on, and head on up to
And
the
soon,
loop,
if we
so.
have our way, we'll have a youth center they can bring them to.
Oh, that would be
So-
great.
Nice.
We're working on that, working hard on that. Okay, so those are the questions I got in so far. Let's take a minute and pause and reflect. I always like when I have guests on, especially people like you. What are the things that you expected I'd ask you that I didn't ask? Or something about MIVA that you want, so, and Teresa, don't take this, to heart. Here we are, half hour into the show. We've said free probably 1,000 times maybe, and still it's not getting through. And I'm not saying Teresa, I still think that people don't get it right.
We get that question all
Yeah.
the time.
So what can the average, let's not just talk about the seniors for a minute. What can the average Methuen resident, how can he or she become more familiar with MIVA?
Well, I think one thing is some of that is on us to be more visible. So we talked about the buses. One of the things that we're doing right now for the fixed route buses, you still, for the most part, have to wave the bus down, which is fine if you're very familiar with the route and where it goes. But if you're not, it's awfully intimidating.
Right.
So what we're putting up is bus stop signs, and which will eventually have information about what route is
Yep.
what stops there, where it's going. So it takes some of that blind faith out of out of waiting for the bus. We're also adding shelters. So actually, it's in partnership with folks in the city.
Yeah.
There'll be 2 new shelters going up on Broadway.
Broadway, yep.
And we're adding shelters in other communities as well. They
Keep you out of the elements.
keep you out of the elements. It's also, and they're bright colors. I think one of your shelters is going to be black because apparently the Historical Commission ruled that we didn't have colors in the old days. I think they just looked at too many black and white photographs,
Yeah.
but that's all right. It'll be nice too.
Yeah.
But I think the shelters that we have, so we've put a few up in our service area, but it's a way of being more welcoming.
Yeah.
And that's what our goal is. Another thing we've done is our routes used to zig and zag around.
Yeah.
And it's like a plate of spaghetti, and we just pulled the spaghetti at both ends to make the routes more direct, because I think we take this very to heart. We want to respect our riders' time.
Yeah.
So that's part of it is the education piece that we've been working hard with. Christina and Amy mentioned going to the senior center. We go to a lot of senior centers. We go to public housing. We just try to be visible and meet people where they are.
Yeah. The lady who got on the bus from the senior center that I was telling the story, she's going to be 100 years old in a couple months.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? And here she is. She's out using public transport. So
We
I say,
have a
kudos to her.
106-year-old right now.
Wow.
Yeah, who goes to the dentist once a month. We bring her to the dentist. Yeah.
Maybe
So
that's
any
the
age.
secret to it, right?
Maybe that's the secret.
If dentist is the secret to it, I'm doomed.
Me too.
There used to be a day when we used to give a Boston Post cane to the oldest person. I don't know if you remember that. But supposedly not anymore. So let me ask.
I would say one of the things that,
Yeah.
going back to your question about what can people from Methuen, we have a number of fixed route buses. So the
Yep.
fixed route buses are the big ones.
Yep.
They're not, a lot of people kind of in their mind think when I get on this bus, it's going to be like a school bus where I have to go up these steps and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to be really bouncy and it's
Yeah.
going to be hot when it's hot out, cold when it's cold. It's going to, it's not like that. It's air conditioned, it's climate controlled,
Yeah.
it lowers down to the ground. You can walk right on if you have issues. And even just a tiny bit of a step, they can flip out the ramp
Right.
and you can use a mobility device. There are places where you could lock down
Right.
a wheelchair or, there's,
Now they're calling.
now
Sorry.
they're calling. The mini MIVA people are
Right.
very,
We're
very
very
persistent.
persistent. Yes.
So, I mean,
Damn
I
it,
think,
Mayor, pick up your phone.
but I do think that's, a lot of people just haven't ridden a public bus in maybe a long time
Right.
and don't realize that it's quite comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So you can get on, it's easy to get on and off. When you're ready to get off, you push the button on the, there's a little strip
Yeah.
on the wall that says press here, you press it, request to stop, and the driver will drop you off. So it's very simple. But there are buses that go up and down Broadway, so
Right.
you can go to the Methuen Public Library, for example. We go.
Best library in the state.
Best library in the state. We heard that because we've met with the Methuen Public Library. They
Definitely
told
prettiest,
us.
yes.
You know, we have 2 buses that go to the Loop, as I mentioned before. One of them comes up and goes past Methuen High School and goes to the Loop. The other one goes from Lawrence, goes all the way to Haverhill, and that's one of our busiest buses. So it hits Target and Walmart and all of the places, and then down 110 and goes to Haverhill. So, and then of course we have a bus that goes to Branch Street, so it goes out to the new Methuen Public Schools offices, as well as Dana-Farber, and then and also we have one that goes to Holy Family. So kind of all the key places that people would need to get to, they can. And if you need to go from Methuen to Lawrence General Hospital, you can get there on a bus from Methuen also. So you know, there's a lot of ways to get to work, to get to doctor's appointments, to get to Market Basket. Like if there's a Market Basket, we're probably going there. You know, we're trying to hit all the places where people need to be to go shopping, to, you know, whatever, healthcare.
Well, and I wanted you guys to come on the show today because I want the people in this community to get more inquisitive about it, right? Investigate, find out, you know, just how much you could use, right? Because I think one of the things we're actively doing, as you appreciate, Christina, is, and I don't want to limit just to the seniors, but we're targeting our senior population because the pandemic was essentially damageful to them. You know, they retreated into the home, and some of them still haven't yet come out. Right? And that's not unique to Methuen, by the way. That's many communities, right? But what we're trying to do is, through what we're doing at the Senior Center, and we have a mental health task force that we've launched that has some really good things, including we got a $500,000 grant to put clinicians with our police officers, which is great. But all of that, you know, all of what we're doing is trying to get our seniors back out, back into it, right? Because nothing good comes from, you know, just hibernating, right? Just, and I could say this, you know, just to take a short Meva ride to the Senior Center and spend a couple hours with another human being engaged in conversation is good for anybody. I don't care who you are, right? And so, you know, I wanted you guys to come on and talk a little bit about that. I do want to ask the question, and this is not my, do you think that there's still like a lingering stigma over public transportation?
There absolutely is, and that's one of the things that we're working very hard to change the mindset that people have about public transportation. So that's, you know, part of it is, I think it used to be, the mindset was, you know, from the operator side, people who need the service will figure out how to use it, and we don't need to do anything to make it more attractive. And we're taking kind of the opposite mindset. We're saying it's we need to showcase how welcoming, how comfortable, how easy it is. And we're still so we're running up against a lot of that stigma. And I think until people get on the bus and see how easy it is, right?
Get on the bus, Gus.
No need to discuss much.
That's right. Oh, he's a musician. All right. And so
you're lucky I didn't sing.
Don't forget to drop off the keys, Lee.
Oh, wow.
One up by the state rep.
I always am.
You know, because I see that too, right? You know, people, you know, like we joked at the beginning, you know, that's not really free. It's free. I mean, there's no other way to say free than free. But everybody is conditioned in this society. So free, what's the catch? Right? What's the hook here? Right? And the hook is there isn't any. Right? And so I mean it when I say you count on me to lobby. I'll go to Boston. I'll go wherever you need me to go, and we'll tell them this is enormously beneficial for communities like ours to get people back out, right? And to overcome some of the mental health issues that have plagued us since the pandemic. So really do appreciate it. I want to give you guys the chance, because I have an enormous list of upcoming events I got to go through. Places that people could take Meva to, by the way. But you know, anything you wanted to tell the community about Meva that, you know, either I haven't asked you or we haven't said yet?
One thing I've been telling the seniors when I've been at the senior centers lately is, you know, you might be like, oh, I don't need that, I still drive. sign up for the services.
Yeah.
Because in the winter, you might not want to drive. In
the winter, I don't want to drive.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't either. But just to have your name in the system, once you're in the system, you're in our system, and you don't ever have to use us, but it's there if you need us.
It's there if you need it. Yeah, that's a great catch. With winter coming.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm fearful. I used to love snow. That was before I became a mayor.
Yeah.
Now I hate snow.
Yeah.
Every time it falls, I hear jingle, jingle, jingle.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the winter months.
The winter, and it's
we've
getting
been-
darker earlier.
We've been fortunate, much darker.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
And sometimes people don't want to drive as the sun gets lower in the sky. They can't see,
Yeah.
like you can't see if there are people walking the
Yeah.
street. And it's a funny time of year
Yep.
that sometimes it's more comfortable if someone else
or
drives.
those darn new headlights.
Right.
Those new
Oh, yeah.
xenon
They
headlights
blind
are
you.
blinding. So,
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I know that we joke, we always say, and we were even talking about this today, like how many different ways do we have to say it's free before people realize it's free, right? How many times can we say it?
Yeah.
And why, do people still miss it? But I think some of it is free, but they want to know, do I have to bring a card? Do I have to prove it? Do I need to sign up online? There's all of these different things that people worry about. Like they don't actually know what to expect when they walk on the bus.
Yeah.
Like they told me it's free. Am I going to have to tell the driver that someone told me it was free, that I have a coupon? You just walk on. Everybody just walks on. There's no
Right.
place to put your money.
Yeah.
There isn't any place to show a card. You just walk on, and it's free.
I mean,
And so-
we deliberately removed all the fare boxes from our buses. So, other transit authorities that have, experimented with going fare free didn't quite make that final plunge, so they left the fare boxes
Sure.
in. But I think psychologically that once you get on the bus, it's sort of liberating to our passengers.
make a new plan, Stan.
Yep.
Right?
No need to be coy, Roy.
There you go. There you go. I picked up on it. Yeah. So people in the audience go, "What the hell are they
What are
talking
you
about?"
talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a song.
I think it's like something about 1973.
Yeah, before my time.
Yeah.
Well, he turned 82 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh.
make a new plan, Stan. There you go. All right.
But
so
his wife is a lot younger.
His what?
His wife is a lot younger.
I'm not touching that with a
Right,
10-foot
yeah.
pole, right?
Edie Brickell, right? Is it?
Yeah,
yeah.
So, all right. So, Miva, do yourself a favor. Do the city a favor. Do the environment a favor. Right? Align with our trash program. I know that elicits howls. Our new trash program. There are things we can do to reduce our carbon footprint. Right? And I'm a big fan of those. So people in the audience will say, "Oh, he's going to make us." No, you will. Once you use this service, you will want to use this service, right? It will sell itself to you. That's my 2 cents. So, thank you all for coming on the show today. We got a couple upcoming events here. If I got time, I'll go back to questions. I really can't see my questions anymore. They disappeared from the screen. I don't know what happened, but we'll try to get that back. Okay, upcoming events. We got a coffee with the mayor. Coffee with the mayor? That's me. This Friday, October 20th, from 10 to noon at Ellie's Farmhouse. Come on by. We'll be sitting there drinking some coffee and answering some questions. And you're welcome to ask any question you want, even trash questions. So that's this Friday, October 20th. By the way, the trash program is working great. It's very difficult to switch. We were one of the few communities that throw it all away. And financially, it was killing the community. And so I wanted. So we are already on pace to save over $500,000.
Wow.
Right. So little
great.
steps, And when people say, and Christina, you'll get this. When people say, "Well, I want my taxes to be lower," there are certain things you need to do. You can't just do business the same way every day, and have my taxes go down. Right? It doesn't work that way because the city, the state pays the same amount for gas, for wood, for nails, for hot top that you would if you were going out and buying it privately. So, all right, enough of that. They're saying you're talking about your dog. That's my brother.
Still mini me.
No, that was my brother. Okay.
I was going to answer.
We have the Fall Festival. Now, this is scheduled for this Saturday, October 21st. I will tell you that we are monitoring the weather situation closely. And even though I hate to say this, it does not look good at this moment in time. Saturday is looking like a soaker. So if it was even close to where it was on Methuen Day, where it was a 50-50, we give it I would tell you right now there's a high probability this will get bumped till October 28th, but that decision will be made tomorrow. Because as you know, this is one of the mayor's favorite events. You could take Miva to get there. We have all the kids dressed in their costumes. There's lots of giveaways, cider donuts, hot dogs, popcorn. There's music, there's contests, there's games for the kids. It's a great event, and it happens at Great Court at the top of the hill. Right now, it's still on from noon to 3, but a call will be made tomorrow as far as the weather, right? And we all want to be weathermen when we grow up, right?
You can be wrong 50%
we're going to
of the
get
time.
4 feet of snow. Well, it got pushed out over the ocean, so. Right? Okay, the next one, here we go. I knew this was coming. We have a Halloween home decorating contest, and I want to say, every passing year, people get more into the spirit of decorating for Halloween. Christmas, there's always been like people, doing it up. But Halloween has become really competitive. So be part of the contest. Submit your decorated home to Methuen Parks and Rec via email to sangelo@citymethuen.net by October 30th for a chance to win local gift card prizes. Some of them to
Nice.
Bada Bing, great places. You look at one of last year's winners in the background there. Great job. Probably, I think about the time it takes to get it down. Now, I keep calling it, so this is somebody short shifting the mayor. It's trick or treat, it's not trunk or treat, but they've used a slide. So our trick or treat Methuen is on the traditional day, Tuesday, October 31st, from 5 to 7 p.m. Will somebody not answer the door if you ring it at 4:50? No, I don't think that'll happen. But if you ring it at 8 o'clock, there's a chance you might not get answered. So that Tuesday night, October 31st, from 5 to 7. And do me a favor, let's be careful out there on the streets. It gets dark earlier now, and so we want to avoid any accidents. And so that's Tuesday, October 31st. Then we got a lot of events. We got the Veterans Day Parade, which is Saturday, November 11th. We're still accepting people who want to participate in the parade, either bands or acts or whatever. To register, all you need to do is contact Tom Hargraves, thhargraves@hotmail.com. The deadline to register is Friday, November 3rd, so you got plenty of time. Maybe a Miva bus in the, not a bad idea.
We talk about it.
Not a bad idea. Then we got the Santa Parade. Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm not ready for this.
No.
I feel like last week was July 4th.
Yeah.
So the Santa Parade, I'm getting old, Chrissy. Saturday, November 18th, 1 p.m. It's a long route from Pelham Street all the way up to Nicholson Stadium. And it starts at 1 p.m., like I said. It is always crammed full of bands and, our fire department does a great job. Our police department does a great job. So all of those things, still time to get involved. Just contact Steve Angelo at Methuen Rec and let him know you're interested in getting a float or whatever. And then we have our flag retirement, which is one of the mayor's warm-up events. And I say that so I don't know if we dig a hole at Elmwood Cemetery and we take the flags and put them in there and burn them.
Oh, wow.
And it's nice and warm. And that's why the mayor likes it as a warm-up event. So you can turn your used flags in either at City Hall or at the American Legion or at Elmwood Cemetery, and they will bring them. So usually this event, we have at least one dump truck full of flags that get burnt, including the ones that are replaced from Memorial Day. So the little ones from Memorial Day, they get burnt on December 7th, just like the others. Then we get the Army-Navy football game watch. I'm hearing all kinds of info about this, about the hotels not being available. But this is why go to the game when you can go watch it at the VFW on River Street. Lunch provided by the Texas Roadhouse. There's a cash bar, 50-50 raffle, etc. The doors open at 2. The kickoff's at 3. Tickets go on sale October 15th, meaning they're already on sale. $15 each, and you get lunch provided by Texas Roadhouse. That's a pretty good deal. And come out and enjoy people's company. Then, I'm running out of breath here. We have a holiday celebration, a veterans celebration, we do a Christmas party every year for our veterans. Tuesday, December 12th, 6 to 9. This year it's at the Irish Cottage. We move it all over. And we ask you, if you're a veteran, to register by calling the Veterans Office at 978-983-8585. You must register in advance, just so we know how many people we're going to have, because we serve hors d'oeuvres, and you're welcome to bring a loved one. So bring a spouse, enjoy it. It's a good time, and a great way for a community, another way for a community to say thank you to our veterans for all they've done for us, right? To keep this community the way it is. I'm almost at the end, guys. Then, probably the most important slide in the deck, other than the MIVA slides, is the Christmas tree search is now officially underway. So we are looking for, last year, we had a resident find a fabulous, and I say fabulous, Christmas tree. And everybody who went and looked, that's it pictured down below, lit up with the angel on top. And actually the wind hit the tree the night before and the angel flew. But we were able to get it back up there. So we want to put the challenge out. We want it to look as nice as last year, if not better. So last year's tree was spectacular. If you're a resident of the city of Methuen or not, and you've got a tree that you think would be worthy of this celebration, send us a picture, or send us an address, and we'll send our folks from DPW out to take a look at it. And we're trying to go with solely homegrown trees. So submit it to Parks and Rec. Steve Ansel has been on so many slides.
He's very busy.
I feel like people should just have him in the fast path.
Speed dial.
Yeah, speed dial. You're right. All right. So that's the upcoming events. We still, God bless, have 5 minutes left, and I'm out of breath. Parting thoughts that you want people who live in Methuen, seniors or others, to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think our service is really a great service. Yeah. Methuen is well served. I think Christina ticked off all the fixed route buses, the demand response mini MIVA, and we're always, if anyone has a suggestion, things they'd like us to change. One of the things back in September, we extended our service hours a little bit later, particularly on our high volume routes, but also on the mini MIVA. So we're operating till 10 o'clock at night on weekdays. And starting in January, we'll also introduce Sunday service. So, we're expanding service.
Excellent. All right, I got more questions.
Okay.
I've recovered.
Yeah.
Do the buses go near the colleges like Northern Essex campus in Lawrence? That's like a...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we go near
Northern
Essex in Lawrence and in Haverhill.
And
another thing is that you can take the bus to Lowell also. So for people who are, say, going to Lowell.
Okay.
We have a bus that does go to Lowell.
Outstanding. Do you have buses that go back and forth to Salisbury Beach in the summer, given the distance and the time? Is that still free, as that would be a specialty ride service? Question mark.
So yes, we do run on so I'm glad they're looking forward to next summer.
Yeah, me too.
So we run a bus that goes express from the McGovern Transportation Center. We also free parking at McGovern if you take the bus. We also have local service that runs all year round to Salisbury Beach. Takes a little bit longer. Doesn't go express on the highway, but it's the 17 bus goes directly from Haverhill to Salisbury Beach. You can connect right from the one that comes directly from Methuen.
And our very first riders of the summer bus was a Methuen family.
That is true.
Really?
They came over, they took advantage of we had free parking there, and so they drove their car over and they were frequent riders.
That's great.
So they took their whole family and they would go.
Yeah.
They go every weekend.
They went every weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
And we do go express, but we do pass. We pass like Jackson and Swan area before hop.
Sure.
So we do pass through Methuen before we hop on the highway to go express. So you can also catch it on the side
That's
of the road.
good to know.
too.
I didn't even know that. Can local travel agencies rent buses for day and overnight hours? I've gone on bus trips with Right Way Travel Methuen. I think that's kind of a different question.
That is, they cannot rent buses from us.
Right.
And that's, we are actually, even if we wanted to, we're prohibited by federal law from doing that.
Yeah.
Right. What are the rules for bringing items on the bus, such as number of bags for purchased store products?
So you can bring as many bags as you can carry in one trip. But we do suggest that people bring a carriage,
Yeah.
a folding carriage that they can put as many
Yep.
bags in as
Great
they can.
idea.
Yep.
All right, next one's a little praise for the mayor. I love the new trash and recycling carts. Ordering a second recycling cart, since we always have more recycling than we can keep up. Our recycling rates are way up.
Good.
I'm very happy with that. I assume any cancellation and rescheduling for the Fall Festival of Saturday, 10/21/23 will be posted on the City of Methuen government Facebook website. Is that correct? So, Teresa, yes. You must be writing these when we're talking, because it will be posted on the website, on Facebook, and there will be a reverse 911 if we have to reschedule. That's a big thing, because a lot of people expect to come to this event, so there'll be a reverse 911 saying it's rescheduled to next Saturday, if we get. But right now the event is still on. Don't make a mistake. And then last, when is the City of Methuen tree lighting ceremony at the Methuen Loop Shopping Center? I realize you don't have a tree yet. This is a fun event. Yeah, so it's December 3rd. So December 3rd, I can't believe, I'm sitting here. It's October, 18th today?
Yeah.
And we're talking about,
Christmas.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
you can also take the MIVA buses to the loop for the tree lighting.
There you go. Teresa, did you hear that? You can take the MIVA buses to the loop for the tree lighting.
And it's free.
Well, unless it's too late.
Yeah.
But it
You
does get dark really
You
early.
cannot bring
but-
the tree with you, however. It will not fit on the MIVA, right? So,
Unless you can carry it.
unless you can carry it
And
in one
safely,
trip.
yes.
In one trip.
Yeah.
A mini tree. You're all set. Yes.
Well, I want to thank you three. You've been terrific. And I want to close the show by reminding people what a fabulous service you offer to our community. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Right? And I think, if I was Phantom Gourmet, I'd call you a hidden gem. Right? A hidden gem. Only because more people need to understand how they could use the service. Right? So, if you're out there, do yourself a favor. Check out Merrimack Valley Transit, MIVA. Questions, there's a number to call. They'll call you back. They'll answer all your questions. You fill out an application. It's pretty straightforward and fabulous. And I know I said this before, but I want you to go back and tell the drivers, outstanding. Their attentiveness to
definitely do that,
service is second to none.
Great.
And I mean that. So we really appreciate that. All right, that's it from here for this week with our fabulous guests who did a great job rescuing the mayor when he was 9 minutes late. Next week, we've got some interesting guests on. We're going to bring on, we're going to go into I can't believe I'm saying this, our holiday mode and start bringing on some of our stores, some of the local stores, and talk about, what they have and what they have to offer. Because remember, just because they're local doesn't mean that you can't use them for your holiday shopping, right? So we want to encourage you to shop local, whether it's Borelli's, Bada Bing, Thwaites, all great places, Mann's, all of those sell gift cards too for people anywhere in the country to use. And let me tell you, you see a lot of posts on Facebook from people in other parts of the country about those places that I talked about, right? Saying, I really miss, the pies from Thwaites or this. And MIVA goes by Thwaites too.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it does. So next week we start to swing into, I can't believe I'm going to say that, our holiday mode and start pumping up the tires of some of our local businesses who have done so much for this community. And so people say, well, Mayor, why do you, because they do so much for us, right? You got to look at it the way the mayor does. They sponsor sports teams. Mm-hmm. They, help with anything. When things go, when things go tragically wrong, and we've had a couple really sad events here in the city, those local businesses, they're there. And they suffered through the pandemic like nobody's business when not a stone's throw away in Salem, New Hampshire, businesses were open and thriving. So we have an obligation to do as much as possible to help them, keep them going. So again, thank you guys for coming on the show. We'll see you back here next week on Mayor's Minutes. God bless, stay healthy.